So Marvel Rivals released at the beginning of this month, and it's certainly been making a name for itself, with over 20 million registered players, and proving that it's a worthy addition to the hero shooter lineup. As a longtime Overwatch player, it is absolutely refreshing to finally have some kind of competition in this space. There's honestly a lot of things that Rivals does that goes beyond what Overwatch offers. One area of this community that I didn't expect to pop off though was the mod community. Looking at the Marvel Rivals Nexus, it currently has 132 different mods. Mods aren't exactly commonplace when it comes to online competitive shooter games, and this is mainly because it's generally against the terms of service to modify your games, even if it is just purely cosmetic. And it's the same here for Rivals. It is mentioned within the TOS that modifications towards the game makes you susceptible to a ban. That being said, NetEase haven't made an official statement talking about mods, considering these are quite popular at the moment, but it's definitely a case of use these at your own risk. However, let's take a look at the most ridiculous, over-the-top, batshit insane mods that are currently out there on the Nexus. There is honestly some golden goose content that already exists for the game. First up, we got New Black Widow. Is this surprising? No, it's absolutely not. NSFW mods are very commonplace when it comes to the mod Nexus. In fact, I believe the very first mod for this game was a nude squirrel girl mod. People pretty much found out that some of the character models are incredibly detailed, and this is on the devs' behalf. Thank you, devs. Whereas a lot of the NSFW mods are heavily custom modified by the community. For the hardcore gooners out there, a lot of these in fact come with jiggle physics. Here's the thing though, a lot of the female heroes have received nude mods, but you know, what about the likes of someone like Groot? Why hasn't Groot received any nude mods? I suppose now thinking about it, like technically Groot is already naked. Do you want to spice up your payload for the payload push maps? Well, don't worry, Thomas the Tank Engine is here to save the day. So now, instead of escorting a carriage through the Yggdrasil path, we now escort Thomas as the ultimate weapon used against Loki's forces. What I like about this is simply just a skin for the payload. All of the collision from the original payload model still exists, which means that you can actually stand inside Thomas the Tank Engine. I don't know if that's some like illegal stuff, and I don't know if by doing this we're somehow hurting Thomas, perhaps performing open heart surgery of some kind. I don't really know the autonomy of trains too well, but yes, we can quite literally ride Thomas the Tank Engine to victory. Next up, we have CJ in place of Winter Soldier. So there's that whole running meme of when a game finally comes to the PC platform, it means that mods are now an option. Generally, one of the very first mods that gets created for video games is a CJ from GTA San Andreas model swap. And yes, we have one here in Marvel Rivals. There's also a separate voice pack mod here, which will change Buck's voice to that of CJ while still keeping all of the exact same lines. Now, it is using AI to try replicate CJ's voice, so it does sound pretty bad.
I owe you one for rescuing me from Hydra, Clint.
We do make a pretty good team. Kate's not returning my calls, so what do you say? Want to be my new partner?
I said I owe you one.
But the reason why you might want this voice pack, if you do want the CJ mod, is because it does actually change the quote that Buck says when he performs his ult.
Oh shit, here we go again.
It makes so much sense, it's absolutely perfect. I love this. But why just stop at CJ? Let's take it one step further and add Big Smoke into the scene. That's right, we can switch up the Punisher with the 2 number 9s, a number 9 large, a number 6 with extra dip, number 7, 2 number 45s, one with cheese, and a large soda god. Now I will say that I don't tend to play duelists all too often. I mainly focus on strategist. I'm more of a keep the homies healthy type of dude. And I've only played Punisher a handful of times, but I will tell you something. As soon as I unlocked the Big Smoke potential, my guy, I was ripping up.
It's all over the place. Your powers are mine! Maximum pulse! Judged!
Funny thing about the CJ and Big Smoke model is generally when you import any of the GTA San Andreas character models into other video games in the form of mods, they almost always look completely out of place, but because of Marvel Rivals' art style and its visuals, in a really strange way, these characters actually don't look totally out of place here. I mean, yeah, they just look like your general run-of-the-mill gangsters. But in a strange way, they kind of work. What about some Square Enix mods for the game? Considering that that is very on brand for me, of course I took the liberty of searching this up first, and the only one that I could come across was the Buster Sword for Magic. Perhaps one of the most iconic video game weapons of all time. It's just a big f***-off piece of metal, which totally makes sense here for Magic. The sword's model looks incredibly good in-game. It actually suits Magic very well. We can see that the Buster Sword has a red and a green materia in both of the sockets. I like the fact that it has a red materia, which is a summon materia, considering that she can literally transform. And speaking of her transformation, she now wields the Mithril Saber. This is definitely one of those mods that makes way too much sense, so hence why we have it. I do hope though that we end up seeing more Square Enix related mods for Rivals. I'm gonna go out on a whim here and test my luck. I would be eternally grateful if someone could please do a model swap of Captain America to Kingdom Hearts Goofy. It makes too much sense. I'd also be incredibly thrilled if we just got a simple Kingdom Key swap for Magic as well though. But yeah, I'm not a greedy person. I'll literally take whatever. Some of you guys have probably noticed that Rocket is censored in Rivals. He's generally got quite the filthy mouth. He's never afraid to drop an F-bomb where it suits, but this is something he absolutely will not do in Rivals. Well, there is a mod to uncensor Rocket. So for any of his quotes where he would say frick, he's now gonna say f.
Progress has passed the halfway point.
That fucking hurt!
Mission area is yours.
Hurt! That fucking hurt! This is...
Half of the mission area. Keep going.
fucking...
Speaking about mods that make way too much sense, how about Vegeta in place of Iron Man? If I was a hardcore Dragon Ball fan, I'd be simply losing it right now. Blood vessels would definitely be getting burst. But I can absolutely appreciate how sick this mod is, and how it makes too much sense in place of Iron Man. However, there is no throwing hands, so you know, that's kind of out of the themes of Dragon Ball. However, you do have your key blasts, so that's what matters here. And of course, in the match that I was playing recording this footage, I was versing off against another Vegeta. We were just constantly having 1v1s to see who the ultimate alpha Vegeta was. Well, it turns out it wasn't me. I lost basically all of the fights. Fun fact about me, I'm a huge Digimon fan, and one of my absolute favorite Digimon of all time is, of course, Agumon. Oh, wow, big surprise. That's like saying my favorite Pokemon is Pikachu. Agumon's evolution line is sick, and one of his coolest forms is absolutely War Greymon. And there's already a War Greymon mod that exists for Marvel Rivals. Standard War Greymon replacing Wolverine, and we also have Black War Greymon replacing Black Panther. The mod creators are genius because, like, so many of these model swaps make so much sense for the specific character that's replacing out the character in the game. Like, this is perfect. This is my first time playing Wolverine, by the way, and, yeah, it shows. You know when the team says, we need big heals? I don't know if this is what they mean. Either way, we've got massive Mantis. There's actually two options when it comes to the sizes. I opted to go for the absolute biggest. Yeah, you see, that thing right there is a weapon in itself. Like, that could legitimately consume entire worlds. Now, here's the thing. This is actually a trilogy of mods, because there's also super-sized Squirrel Girl and large Lunar Snow. That's all fine and dandy, but I'm still waiting for gargantuous Groot. Like, can we please have an obese Groot? I need this. People are gonna start thinking I've got some kind of strange tree fetish or something like that. I promise you I don't. It's just, you know, where's the love for Groot, man? Perhaps one of the most popular Marvel characters there is, Deadpool, replacing out Winter Soldier. So here's the thing with Deadpool, it shouldn't be too long before we actually see an official inclusion of his character. A bunch of heroes have been found within the files of Marvel Rivals, and Deadpool is in fact one of them, acting as, to no one's anyone's surprise, a duelist. I just know he's gonna have some busted, incredibly annoying, self-healing, passive, or resurrection ability that is going to ruin me. Still, it's only inevitable that at some point we will get Deadpool in the game. For the time being though, if you kinda wanna play dress up as Winter Soldier playing Deadpool, then you can. Perhaps my favorite mod out of the collection here is Jeff Iron Fist. This is the form one takes on when they have absolutely reached their limit with the slander being thrown towards them. Jeff has assumed ultimate Iron Fist stance, and he is out for nothing but blood. This motherfucker is the literal bruise baron. Now don't worry, Hulk mains. We got any Hulk mains here? No? Okay, well, just in case there might be, there is some love for you guys. Are you into My Hero? Well, you're in luck. We have a Toshinori replacement for Hulk. Another mod that makes way too much sense, with the Bruce form being just regular Toshinori, and the Hulk form being All Might. Yeah, don't ask me about the walking animation. I don't know. It does look like perhaps maybe he has soiled himself just a little bit. Now, if you think this looks out of place, wait until we activate Ultimate Hulk. Yeah, I would be scared of this if I saw this in the general vicinity. This would be worrying. What the f*** is that? So, for the time being, anyway, those are some of the most insane Marvel Rivals mods. Just this week alone, there has been 80 mods added, and I'm also looking at it here. For today specifically, there's been about 20, so mods are getting created for this game at an incredibly fast rate. Again, it's a little bit in the realm of unknown as to whether or not NetEase will stamp down on mods, considering that this only affects your side of the game as you're modifying your local files. This doesn't affect other players. Though, if we do start to see mods that will give players a slight advantage, or mods that might actually rip official skins that you need to use premium currency in order to buy, if those things start to happen, then I can imagine that NetEase might start to have an issue with this. Remember, if you are keen to mod the game, just know that there is a slight chance that you might get in trouble for it. Thank you guys so much for coming on down to today's video. Be sure to slap that like button and hit the subscribe button to keep up with everything going on here. Big thank you to my wonderful patrons. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and we'll yap again real soon.